again, on the topic of athletic scholarships, these are usually held to high prestige, very popular, heavily sought after from student athletes and families all across the country. What they are scholarships awarded from the college athletic departments based upon a student athlete's performance athletically, or even just overall contribution to a certain team. Now, within that, the number of scholarships that you get, the dollar amount, whether it's a full scholarship or partial scholarship, a lot of variables behind it. It depends on the division, the size of the school, the sport, a lot of different variables, but it all boils down to two separate categories. The way scholarships are given when it comes to athletic scholarships are either going to be amongst head count sports or equivalency sports. Now, the biggest difference is we're looking at full scholarships or partial scholarships. When we look at head count scholarships, these are typically from your Division I programs, and there's a certain grouping of sports that will be head count allowed, meaning you get a full scholarship if you receive one. These are football, men's basketball, women's gymnastics, women's tennis, as well as women's volleyball. And again, if you receive a scholarship from a Division I program within one of these sports, then it will be a full scholarship. Now, on an outside spectrum of that, we also have our equivalency sports. And typically, these are held at other division levels and in other sports. Within our equivalency sports, it's a little bit different. That college program that operates under an equivalency sport, they may have 10 scholarships total. They may have to break those down over the course of 30 different athletes. So they may want to look at a bunch of partial scholarships, 10% here, 20% here. Maybe if it's a very high contribution player, they may give one player 80%. But when we break down overall amongst our equivalency sports, those are the sports that are lower division levels. Division II, again, or NAI, JUCO. Those are our equivalency where we actually get the partial scholarships. Now, when we look at athletic scholarships as a whole, equivalency or head count, remember they only operate under Division I schools, Division II, NAIA, and JUCO. Division III programs do not give athletic scholarships. Now, they do have other incentives, other forms of grants, other forms of financial aid that in some cases wouldn't be susceptible to a regular student. But as far as athletic scholarships go, the term of it, you're looking at Division I, Division II, NAIA, as well as JUCO. Now, in addition to those athletic scholarships, we have to remember they're not always guaranteed, and we can provide ourselves with a little bit more of a safety net when we look at the academic side of things. David?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just to kind of get a little more of a breakdown. So, Phil talked about Division I schools, right? So football, basketball, volleyball, tennis, gymnastics, those are full scholarships. A Division I baseball program, for example, has 11.7 scholarships available for their entire roster. Many Division I baseball programs will roster 30, sometimes 40 kids. So these kids aren't getting full scholarships. They may get a partial scholarship. They may get 50% of an athletic scholarship. They may get 30% of an athletic scholarship. And it's also year by year. That amount could increase your sophomore year, your junior year, senior year, and the scholarships aren't fully guaranteed. So it's not just because you get a scholarship for 1 year doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get a scholarship for the rest of the 3 years. So again, it can vary in terms of the sport, but also if I'm a Division I baseball program and I have 11.7 scholarships under NCAA rules, the school may say you can only use 10 of those athletic scholarships. So not every school is going to use the full amount of scholarships available, depending on what's budgeted by the school, depending on what's budgeted by the athletic programs or the scholarships available at that university. Something to think about there. So there's a lot of little technicalities when it comes to athletic scholarships, but like Philip mentioned, in some sports you can get academic scholarships to help maybe offset any athletic scholarships that maybe you didn't have. So if I'm a Division I baseball player and a coach offers me a 30% of an athletic scholarship, well, let's say I've got good grades, I've got good test scores, that coach may be able to come back to me and say, hey, we can also give you 50% of an academic scholarship. So you're stacking scholarships. That's kind of the phrase that is used in the recruiting world. So you may get 30% of an athletic scholarship and maybe 50% of an academic scholarship. So ultimately you're getting 80% of your school paid for. So again, a lot of numbers. There's hopefully an example that makes sense. But Philip, the common sense here is for academic money that's available, the higher your grades are, the better your test scores are, the better a student you are, the more scholarship money you are going to have available, and the more attractive you're going to be to a college coach, knowing that I could potentially bring you onto my program, and it may only cost me a quarter of an athletic scholarship instead of having to give you 75% of an athletic scholarship.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the biggest thing coming off of the athletic scholarships, you have to know, again, you have to renew them every single year, and they're not guaranteed amongst that 4-year period. And when we move over to the academic spectrum, it may be the same thing as far as not actually being guaranteed for 4 years, but you're weighing your differences. Amongst the athletic scholarship, an injury can cause you to lose that scholarship. A slip in performance on a field, court, or track, that can cause you to lose that scholarship. When we look at the academic side of things, we just have to maintain our grades. And we're a little bit more secure when it comes to the scholarship that we're offered. So really important that we always keep the main priority intact when it comes to making sure our grades are high. The number of scholarships, the dollar that we're given on the academic side of things, number of different variables, including the scholarship amount, what you're already getting athletically, but the main 3 variables that are judged when looking upon an academic scholarship, we're looking at GPA. Okay, we have to know those overall grades. We're looking at class ranking in some cases. We're also looking at test scores. Okay, looking at factoring in those 3 different variables can very much have an impact on really what that academic scholarship could look like. And a lot of times, depending on the program, we may see the academic side of things outweigh the athletic scholarship because just, David, as you use that example, on the flip side of that, we might see a coach that maybe has a 20% scholarship available on the athletic side, and they may see a student athlete that's really good in the classroom, and they may be able to supplement, replace that 30% on the athletic side with 30% on the academic side. That way that college coach can spread things out a little bit further to maybe a candidate that doesn't have the high grades that you may have. So again, a lot of different variables for sure. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Click the logo to subscribe to our channel and watch the other videos for all things recruiting.